I'm back with video number 13 of the Gerhardt Konig trial. This is a continuation of video 12, it's a two-parter this morning. So you might want to go watch video 12, but this is just a continuation of what happened in court yesterday when they were talking about prosecution exhibit 107, which is the search warrant results on his laptop. And the defense has been trying to get this evidence thrown out. They filed a motion to suppress. The judge has now denied this motion twice, but for some reason we're still arguing over it. So in their motion to suppress, the defense specifically said, like, we believe that this search warrant wasn't executed properly, right? Like, they're complaining about the scope, they're complaining about the parameters, they're complaining about a lot of different things, trying to get the whole substance of it all taken out. So the judge had said, no, like, this is a valid search warrant, is obtained by valid methods, it has a judge's signature on it, and Detective Azuma came in and under oath, he said he executed it exactly how he was supposed to. And the judge actually kind of said, because he's using this software, it's sort of self-executing. Like, you put in the dates and you put in the keywords and then you push go. And it does it itself. It's not like there's room for police error. He put in the dates. He showed us the dates he put in. He verified that those are the only words he put in. He showed us exactly how he executed his portion, and it was fair and consistent and exactly what he was supposed to do. And then the judge kind of says, in fact, from what I understand, Detective Enuma is out in the hallway. So if we want him to come back in and reiterate for us how he did this, like the parameters, the searches that he used, we can have him do that. And the prosecution's like, yep, he's right outside. We can bring him back in and he can discuss it. And then the defense is like, no, that won't be necessary. Because like I said in my last video, and this is just my opinion, maybe I'm dead wrong, but what I think the defense is just continuing to do is the motion's been denied twice. So I think what they're just trying to do is they're just trying to keep adding other stuff to the record so that if they ever want to appeal, they can say that the judge didn't listen. Like, they need to get in the last word. And bringing Detective Enuma back in and having him go, see, again, I just put in these dates and I put in these words and I pushed go. Then all of them in court are on record with agreeing that he did it right. So the last thing we want is Detective Enuma to come back in. So the defense says, well, I really don't have a problem with the search warrant itself. So we're back to what I said in the previous video is, they just don't like the results. And I understand that some of the results, there are anomalies. I absolutely understand that. There are times where the source coding was pulled into the results versus the content of the body of the email or the search or whatever. I understand that. The prosecution, when it's his turn to speak, he verifies everything. So he confirms Gerhardt Konig's email. This is the email we searched. He confirmed the dates. He confirmed all of the parameters of the search warrant for the record to say this is exactly what Detective Enuma, these were the guidelines he used and nothing more. So the judge says to the defense, if the questions are with the search warrant or the formulation of the search warrant or how the search warrant was executed, we can bring Detective Enuma back in. And the prosecution's like, we've already explained it. We're happy to do it again. If it takes a second time around, we'll do it again. And the defense is like, no, we just have issues with the wording. Like, we think some of the search words, the words were too broad and they have multiple meanings. And I do think that's a fair argument. Not enough to throw out the entire exhibit, but I do think that's a fair argument. But then the prosecution says something that's really interesting to me. And this to me was kind of the zinger. Gerhardt says, Your Honor, I have no idea why this is coming up in the middle of trial. He says, we executed this search warrant and provided all of this data to the defense last July. See, due to discovery laws, any evidence that the prosecution has against the defendant, they have to provide to the defense so the defense can be ready to counter it. So they've had this information. They've had this bundle of emails and search information since July. And he says, why is it just now coming up? He says, in fact, on March 6th, we presented, because again, you're also supposed to give a general outline of what your case involves so they can prepare their defense. And he says, back on March 6th, we told them we would be calling Detective Enuma, and this is the order that we were going to be talking about things in. So they knew this evidence was going to be presented here in trial. So why are we waiting until the middle of the trial to file this motion? If they had a motion to suppress, they should have filed it last July. If I were this guy's defense attorney and I was handed evidence that 2,300 objects matched that search warrant, and there were words like, they were searching for words like body and death and syringe and hike and separate and divorce, I'd be like, ooh, this is not pretty. I would have hired a couple of people, just brought on a couple of summer interns and had them read every single one of those emails, go through line by line by line by line by line, and read every single thing that Axiom software spit out. And then I would isolate. I'd be like, here's all of the emails, searches, objects, if you will, that don't have anything to do with this case. Then I would have presented the motion to the judge and said, see, of those 2,300, here's 400 that have nothing to do with anything. This should be tossed out. That's exactly how I would have approached it. But they didn't. They had this information since last fucking July, and they didn't file a motion to suppress it. Now, I think, like the psychological game, and against their defense attorneys, so they're paid to do this stuff. But really, honestly, they didn't want those pages tossed out. I think if the judge would have said yesterday, okay, great, you found 4 anomalies in those 4 pages, let's toss those out. That's not what they wanted. They want the entire thing thrown out, and their premise is, well, we don't know that it's entirely accurate. So I would have called the bluff. If I were the judge, I'd say, fine, you got one more day, go through every single one of them you've had since July. You should have gone through every single one of them. You should have been prepared. You should have gone through every single one of them and been able to walk in here and tell me exactly which pages you want tossed out, and I would have tossed out those pages. But trying to file a motion to suppress all of the search warrant information is never, ever going to fly with this judge. That's what I would do. I think no matter what he does at this point, the defense wants it on record. And I'm not, at this point, I'm sorry, we've gone around so many times, I'm not sure what they want on the record. It's not a bad search warrant, but they're concerned about the words. But it's not the words, it's only some words. But they don't want those words removed, and they don't want those, they've never ever said, can we please go through and just pull out the emails that aren't relevant? They keep sticking to, there are certain emails that aren't relevant, so therefore all of it should be thrown out. So today is Tuesday. I keep saying it's going to be a big day. Today, I think it is going to be a big day because Gerhardt's adult son from his first marriage is supposed to take the stand today, scheduled to take the stand. And he is testifying that Gerhardt called him shortly after the attack and allegedly confessed to trying to kill Ariel. So this is supposed to take place today. Again, it is available on Court TV if you want to watch it. And I will be back either later tonight or tomorrow morning with another update.